All right, let's talk about Deadlock. Specifically, let's talk about those first 10 minutes, that part of the match that can feel like absolute, pure chaos. We're going to demystify it, and by the end of this, you'll have a clear roadmap to get you from the starting bell all the way to the mid-game.
And let's be real, this quote from Reddit, it kind of hits the nail on the head, right? When you first drop in, it's just a whirlwind. But I promise you, underneath all that chaos, there's a structure, a rhythm. And today, we're going to give you the sheet music so you can play along.
So, here's how we're going to do it. We're just going to walk through the match exactly as you'll experience it, minute by minute. We'll cover the first wave, when the map starts to change, when the jungle comes alive, and what to do when you finally get some cash to spend.
Okay, first things first. What's the big picture here? Deadlock is a 6v6 hero shooter, but it's got a ton of MOBA DNA. You're on this huge 4-lane map, but for the first part of the game, your entire world is really just your own lane. Those first 10 minutes, that's what we call the laning phase. And you have one simple, crystal clear goal: win your lane. And how do you do that? You help your little trooper minions push forward and take down the enemy's first big defensive tower, the Guardian. That's it. Everything you do should be working towards that one objective.
So check this out. This timeline is going to be our guide for this whole explainer. It looks pretty empty right now, but we're about to fill it up with all the key moments you need to have locked in your brain.
The horn blows, the gates are open. What's job number one? Before you even think about fighting other players, it's all about one thing: collecting the game's currency, which are called souls. Think of souls as the engine that makes you go. You need them to buy items that make you stronger, tougher, and give you new abilities. Getting good at farming souls in these first few minutes is probably the single most important skill you can learn early on. Now, there are two ways to get souls from those enemy troopers, and this is super important. If you get the last hit with your gun, it drops a little orb that you have to pick up. The catch? The enemy can shoot that orb and destroy it, denying you the souls. But if you get the last hit with a melee attack, those souls go directly to you. Instantly, they can't be denied. So whenever it's safe, you should be going for those melee last hits.
So how do you know if you're doing a good job? Give yourself a simple target. Try to get around 300 souls from every single wave of troopers. If you're hitting that number, you are on track to get your first big items right on time. If you're coming up short, it means you got to focus more on those guaranteed melee last hits.
Okay, so you're 2 minutes in, you're getting in the groove, you're farming souls, and then the game decides to throw a little wrinkle in. The map itself starts to change, new stuff starts spawning, and it adds a whole new layer to think about.
And these new events, they're your first real chance to get a leg up on your opponent. But you can't just drop everything and go for them. It's all about timing.
At the 2-minute mark, two things pop up on the map. You've got these breakable boxes that are just filled with bonus souls, and you've got these golden statues that give you a small but permanent stat boost. These are little advantages that really start to add up. But how do you find the time to grab them, right? This is where a key concept called lane priority comes into play. Basically, if you can quickly clear the enemy troopers and push your wave up to their Guardian tower, they're forced to deal with it. And that gives you a golden window of opportunity to dip into the jungle, snag a quick box or a statue, and get back to your lane before you miss anything important. And the game just keeps escalating. Just as you get used to that rhythm of pushing and grabbing stuff, the 5-minute mark hits, and now an even bigger objective spawns, the bridge buffs, which give a really significant temporary power-up. And this is where things get even more interesting. The jungle, which has been pretty quiet so far, suddenly comes to life with camps that offer huge rewards, but also huge risks. Look at our timeline now. It's really starting to fill up. At 6 minutes, the medium jungle camps spawn. Then at 8 minutes, you get the tough hard camps and the very unique sinner sacrifice camps. This is a massive injection of potential souls onto the map, and it creates all sorts of new fights and opportunities. Okay, lean in, because I'm going to give you a huge tip here. Those sinner sacrifice camps, people call them the slot machines, can give you a massive payout. To get the jackpot of 4 permanent statue buffs, you have to time your last hit perfectly. Here's the secret. Start charging your heavy melee attack when there are exactly 3 lights left to fill up. Your attack will land at the perfect moment and you'll hit the jackpot. It works every time.
And here we are, the 10-minute mark. This is it. This is the moment the game completely changes. The laning phase is officially over, and the focus explodes from just your little lane to massive team-wide objectives all over the map. And there it is, the complete playbook for your first 10 minutes. Just knowing these timings by heart puts you way ahead of the curve. You'll know what's coming before it happens, letting you get into position to take advantage of it before your opponents even know what's going on.
At 10 minutes, the floodgates open. You get a huge mid-boss that becomes the new center of attention. You get powerful runes that can turn a fight. The bridge buffs come back online, and a whole treasure room of soul boxes opens up. The game just got a whole lot bigger.
So you did it. You navigated those first 10 minutes, you farmed a ton of souls, you've got cash burning a hole in your pocket. Now, how do you spend it? Let's talk about how to deal with one of the biggest frustrations for every new player.
Crowd control. CC. You know that feeling when you're in a fight and suddenly your character just stops? You can't move, you can't shoot, you can't use abilities? That's CC. And running into a team that has a lot of it can feel absolutely miserable if you're not ready for it.
But you can be ready for it. These 3 items are your answer. If you're playing a hero with a big ultimate that you have to channel, like Dynamo, Unstoppable is basically a must-buy. It makes you immune for a few seconds. Debuff Remover is your get-out-of-jail-free card. It just instantly cleanses whatever bad stuff is on you. And Counterspell puts up a shield that will block the very next ability that hits you. Buying the right one of these can single-handedly win you a fight.
So there you have it. You now have the rhythm, the timings, the objectives. You know how to win your lane. You're ready. But what happens next?